Besties, let me tell you about the absolute cinema that was the dog episode of La Rosa de Guadalupe. Because they really featured a dog that prayed for a miracle, and it actually worked. We start the episode with Fulgencio, the drunk dad, just terrorizing his family. He comes in drunk after a day of work and literally just kills the vibe. Like, the mom and the daughter were like, damn, we were just chilling here and now you gotta come in and make it all awkward. And he's like, why are you always busting my balls? The mom's like, well, because you're always drinking and wasting all your money. And he's like, damn, here, have your damn money. And bro, this man was so drunk that he just literally stumbled back, fell on the couch, and passed out. Mother and daughter looked at each other like, damn, dad's low-key a loser. Like, even her friends know that her dad sucks, and she was like, yeah, I wish I had a little brother sometimes so I could, like, share this suffering with somebody. And they're like, don't worry, you got us, you're besties. And they're like, to make you feel better, let's look at some pictures of BTS. And the little girl's like, my favorite is Jungkook. Later in the day after school, she randomly runs into a dog, and she's like, hold on, you're a stray? I'm taking your ass home, and I'm also naming you Jungkook. Penelope, or whatever her name is, brings the dog home and she's like, can I keep him? And he's like, hell no, I'm not taking care of no dog. And she's like, I promise I'll do everything. And notice that he's just casually drinking and the mom is just letting this happen. Like, the way this lady just enables this man to be awful. Anyway, she's allowed to keep the dog and she shows the dog the Virgin Mary and Jungkook. Notice that they're both in the same area. Loki saying that they're worshiping both of them. It's in a really cute moment. She actually teaches the dog how to pray to the Virgin Mary. This is going to be vital later on. Next day, the mom is like, get that dog out of here because you know how much your dad hates him. And she's like, dad's always drunk, like he's not gonna care. And she's like, don't talk that way about your father. They force the dog to sleep outside and the dog is just like barking, it's restless. And the dad's like, I'm gonna do something about that damn dog. So the dad yells at his wife, gets up and runs outside to the dog. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought he was gonna beat him or like let him loose, but no, he just tied him outside in the street, which still sucks, but not as horrible as it could have gone. Then things turn for the worse and Jungkook is in danger because a bum pulls up of his own stray dog and the black dog just charges at Jungkook. So the dogs start fighting and the bum pulls out a stick and starts beating Jungkook. Like, this poor dog was so badly injured. Next day, the little girl wakes up in her BTS dream bed and she's like, where the fuck is my dog? And her mom's like, chill, he's just in the yard, like outside on the street. They go and check the dog and he is so badly injured, like they had to rush him to the vet. The vet clocked the T right away. She's like, listen, that dog had bite marks, like clearly there's been a fight, but it also had beaten marks, like somebody beat him. She's like, bitch, we know you've been beating that dog. And the mom is like, no, it wasn't our fault. Like, and the dog is like, bitch, Loki, this is your fault because you keep enabling that man. Bro, you see all those stitches and bandages? Like, they messed up that dog. And the dad all fake, he's like, yup, I definitely love this dog. I'm just gonna take him now. And he just picks him up and carries him out. And the vets were like, yeah, that man is totally beating that dog, but we're just gonna pretend like we didn't see it. Dad immediately drops the act, drives the dog to the middle of nowhere, and he's like, I'll take care of you. So he distracts him, throws a bone or a stick or whatever, and distracts the dog. And while Jungkook is distracted, the dad gets back in the car and drives away, just leaving Jungkook stranded in the middle of nowhere. Bro, this is when the dad became extremely evil because he was like, yeah, I left your dog in the middle of nowhere and you're never gonna see him again. And she's like, please, let's go back for him. And she's like, no, your dog is going to die out there in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, damn, homie, you did not need to be that cruel to that little girl. But listen, when villains in the La Rosa de Guadalupe do crazy things, they get crazy punishments. And karma comes back for him like ASAP. Even the wife was like, I know I'm enabling all your bad habits, but Loki, this is a little too much. Like, you did not need to do all that. She's like, listen, we need to talk about your drinking problem because it's honestly becoming worse and you need to get like AAA or something. And he's like, I don't have a drinking problem. And you keep saying that, I'm actually going to beat your ass. And she's like, oh, nope, I'm going to shut my ass up now then. The next day at work, Mr. I don't have a drinking problem is drinking his ass off at work. And even his coworker is like, bro, you doing a little too much. Like, you really drinking like in the middle of the day at your job? Lo and behold, Fulgencio is so drunk at work that he can't even walk properly. Like, he's carrying a satchel of like cement or something down these stairs and he has an accident. He actually ends up tumbling down. Like, if it isn't the consequences of his own actions. Listen, that coworker was a total angel because he ran to his wife and was like, yeah, he had an accident, we need to run to the hospital like stat. Just waiting on Fulgencio to wake up, and then when he does, he crashes out. He's like, oh my god, I can't see. Doctor is like, yup, tough luck, bitch, you're never gonna see again. Better get used to your new life. And when I tell y'all, if this man wasn't insufferable before, he is 10 times worse now. Like, I hate my life, I hate all of you, I'm a good for nothing. And the wife is just trying to be positive. She's like, me, your daughter will try to take care of you. And he's like, I hate everything, where the dog is just wandering about, and that's when he comes across an altar of the Virgin Mary. So the dog actually goes up to the altar and barks at it like he's praying for a miracle, and it actually works, as the dog's prayer actually triggered the divine magical rose to appear. The wife is as aloof as always. She's like, oh wow, a magical rose, who cares? I'm going to the store, whatever, I'll see you soon. And Fulgencio just being a lazy ass. This man who is freshly blind wakes up and he starts looking for his wife, and he's like, where are you? So he decides to just start going around the house, just stumbling into anything. He's clearly not doing well, and he decides that, hey, why don't I just go outside? This man can't even manage inside his own home, let alone outside. So Fulgencio is just roaming, unable to see, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it, let me just go into the street. So he runs right into traffic, and a car is about to hit him. And honestly, I wouldn't be sad. But who saves him in the nick of time, just as he's about to get ran over? That's right, Jungkook. Little girl sees everything and runs. She's like, oh my god, this is my dog. And he's like, hold up, your dog? The dog that I left stranded in the middle of nowhere? This man has a mental breakdown, and he's like, oh my god, your dog saved my life. I can't believe this. But they all go back home, and the wife is still enabling this man. She's like, this is all my fault. And listen, almost getting ran over must have humbled him, because he was like, no, wife, it was me. Which it was totally his fault. He was like, I was so cruel to this dog. I'm so sorry. I learned my lesson. I don't hate dogs anymore. And then the divine magical wind blows on both of them, signifying that the miracle has been fulfilled. So I guess the dog wished for the dad to like him. And now the dad's like, I'm not evil anymore. I love dogs now. And then he totally admits that he's like an alcoholic. And he's like, yep, I'm going to go to AA and get treatment for being an alcoholic. And in the epilogue, we find out that they're all happy and that the dad loves the dog now. And he went to get treatment and he never drank again. And he also went to like blind school. So he is definitely stuck being blind. But overall, it was a very happy ending. Yeah, that was it for the dog episode of La Rosa de Guadalupe. Like, did it need to be that dramatic? Absolutely not. But were we sad the whole time? Absolutely. Besties, what do you think?